country. This was an arrest operation. This was a law enforcement operation. He was arrested on the ground in Venezuela by FBI agents, read his rights, and removed from the country. I encourage everyone, I know it's Sunday, people are busy, but the indictments have now been unsealed. People should read this indictment.
Challenge accepted, Secretary, but I'm not going to raw dog the 25-page indictment. I'm going to use legalmarginnotes.com to make sure I understand the indictment thoroughly. It provides margin notes at crucial spots of any legal document. It provides a summary page including the most relevant laws and case precedents and the key facts at issue. It then provides an index of what is discussed and where by page, and even a knowledge check quiz to ensure you actually understand the material. It's perfect for cases, but it works on any legal document, and so today I used it on the Maduro indictment itself. Looking at the summary, the first thing that jumps out if you want to understand the legal justification for this case, you need to understand U.S. versus Noriega from 1990. In terms of key facts, you quickly realize Nicolas Maduro is just one of 6 named defendants. 2 other Venezuelan government officials are named. The leader of Tren de Aragua is named. Maduro's wife and his son are also named. You learn the defendants partnered with a number of named FTOs, or foreign terrorist organizations, like FARC, ELN, and the Sinaloa cartel. The general idea is that the drugs were produced in Colombia, shipped using Maduro's patronage system through the Caribbean to Mexico to the Sinaloa and Zetas cartels, and from there into the USA. They're estimating roughly 250 tons of cocaine per year. Moving below the summary, you get a document index that explains what is discussed and where in the document. The first 10 pages give you a detailed understanding of the key players and the general conspiracy. Then pages 10 through 17 outline overt acts of the conspiracy that have been documented. A conspiracy is an agreement to commit illegal acts, and a conviction requires overt acts furthering that agreement. So pages 10 through 17 provide a large number of juicy details, aka overt acts, like Maduro selling passports and providing diplomatic immunity to certain flights, his wife arranging bribes, or the whole government seizing drugs from others only to traffic them themselves. I can tell you one thing, whatever was going on Margarita Island with Nicolásito, aka the Prince, sounds like a good bit of fun. Also a lot of drugs embarking. Once they have documented the players and the overt acts, you get the actual charges starting on page 18. Count 1 is a conspiracy with narco-terrorists. That's the main count. In order to make that stick, it requires a conspiracy to import at least 5 kilograms of cocaine. And on top of that, requires providing aid to a designated foreign terrorist organization. So that FTO designation to the Colombian and Mexican terrorist groups is essential to the charge. The second charge is the importation of cocaine itself, and the third and fourth charges are doing the first 2 charges, but with machine guns. The last page is normally pretty boring. It's asset forfeiture stuff, but take a look at the substitute assets language written in there. I think that's going to become important given some of the language the president has used regarding certain assets. So now you have a useful understanding of the indictment. You need to take the quiz to make sure you really understand it. Do you understand the key difference between this and the Noriega case? An already deposed leader versus a head of state never formally recognized? Do you understand why it matters that certain organizations are designated as FTOs for these charges? The quiz is incredibly helpful. But now you know the indictment. The big argument online, at least, is going to be about the extraction rate itself. Was that legally justified? Did that violate any treaties? Or maybe the Constitution itself? Well, that's another topic beyond the indictment, but for now, the justification is that this was a law enforcement operation to extract a criminal, not an act of war. That answers the constitutional question, and that Maduro was never recognized as the official head of state, so any treaties would not apply to him, as the main justification to answer that question. But ultimately, on something like this, to quote prominent legal scholar Jack Sparrow on international law, the only rules that matter are what a man can do and what he can't, and apparently Delta Force can fly into a heavily guarded fortress and extract a heavily guarded man, have the FBI read him his rights, and fly out in the middle of the night without loss of life or equipment. Who knew? What I do know is if you want to be an expert on the contents of any legal document, but especially cases, you need to use legalmarginnotes.com.